Good morning, students. Welcome to Business Studies class. So we are in third chapter. So what is the concept for today? That is global enterprises. So we have studied department undertaking, statutory corporations, then government company, then five types of business organizations under private sector in the second chapter. Now, what is global enterprises now? So you might have seen the Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Nestle. So it's a very famous companies. They are the biggest players in the marketing world. They are the biggest, they are the giant players in the market. So they are well established. Their basic is very good. Their fundamental pillars, it is very strong. They are operating not only in one or two countries, they are operating more than 50 to 100 countries. So you might have observed some companies, they are restricted only to the state. Some companies, they are good company, but they are restricted only to the one country. But some other company, look at some other company, they are also good companies, but they are restricted. They have their operations or activity only in two or three countries. But look at some other companies. They have their operational activity in more than 50 to 100 countries or more than that. It is called global enterprises, huge industrial organization which extend their industrial and marketing operations through a network of their branches in several countries. They have their headquarters or the main office in the one country, then they have their branch offices in each and every country throughout the globe. That's called global enterprises. It's very easy to them for extend to continue their marketing operations or industrial operations through their network of their branches. They have the main branch in the main country, then they have their branches throughout the world, throughout the countries. So it's very easy to them. They can extend their market like anything because they have the branches in each and every country. That is called global enterprises. What's the meaning of global enterprises now? It is a huge industrial organizations which can extend, they can extend their industrial work and the marketing operations by using their branches in several countries. Now, these enterprises operate in several areas, producing multiple products with their business strategy extending over a number of countries. They are not restricted to the one country. They are not restricted to the single product. They have multiple product. They are not restricted to the mobiles. They are not restricted to the laptops. They are in the business of several products. So that made them as a global giant or the global enterprises. They have their own strategy, their own technique. They know how to extend the business. They know how to continue their business. They know how to place their business in the market. So they don't aim at maximizing profit from one or two product. Their concentration, their intention is not aiming at maximizing profit. They are not thinking about one or two products profit. Instead of that, they spread their branches all over. Their first intention, the first and foremost intention of global enterprises, they want to extend. They want to have their branches throughout the world. So then they have multiple product. They don't have one or two product. They have 50 to 100 products in their company. So that made them as a global enterprises. That is the biggest concept. Very interesting also. They need plenty of management skill. They need plenty of marketing skill. They should have the sound financial background. Then only they can become the global enterprises. It is the what it's all about global enterprises. Look at some examples of global enterprises. Look at here, Reliance Industries of Mukesh Ambani. It is the global enterprises. Then Toyota Motors, so famous one, know this. Then Amazon.com, Volkswagen, Saudi Aramco, Royal Dutch Shell, China National Petroleum, State Grid, then Walmart of America. Not only this, we have plenty of companies. They are the global enterprises. They are the leaders in the commerce. They are the leaders in the industry. So some of the companies they have the plenty of resource, the plenty of money. That's all about the global enterprises. Look at next. What are the features of global enterprises? As I said, the global enterprises they have the main head office in one country. Then they have their branches all over the world. To extend their branches, to conduct their marketing activity throughout the world, then they need huge money. So that's then the first feature of global enterprises is huge capital resources. These enterprises are characterized by possessing huge financial resources and the ability to raise the funds from different sources. They have huge money. Not only they have huge amount, then they have the capacity. They have the ability to raise the fund different source of finance. They can raise the fund by issue of debentures, by issue of shares. Even they can borrow loan from the bank or from the financial institutions. It is the huge capital resources. Second very important feature, foreign collaborations. There's a cooperation with the foreign company. So global enterprises usually enter into agreement with Indian companies pertaining to sale of technology, production of goods, use of brand names for the final product, etc. Now, sometimes a global company they won't come directly for a production purpose. Sometimes they come to the India just for marketing the product of the domestic country. So they comes to an agreement, they enter to an agreement with the domestic or with the Indian companies pertaining to sale of technology, production of goods, use of brand names for the final product. This is the second one. Third one is advanced technology. So any company, they generally they can't enter any other country without any technical background. If any country if they want to enter the all over the world, or if they want to enter 5 to 10 countries, then they should have the technical background. They should have the sound technical part. That is the advanced technology. Look at the difference here. Whenever we see the global enterprises, they have they possess technological superiorities comparing to some other company, comparing to some other companies. Global enterprises or the global companies they have technical superiority. They have sophisticated technology. They use the technology in the method of production. They are able to conform to international standards and quality specification. They want to make any compromise in the quality and standard of the product. That's the main feature of global enterprises. They have technically superior. They use their technicals or the technology in the method of production. Then they are able to produce international quality and standard goods. That's the third feature of global enterprises. Then fourth one, that is expansion of market territory. That is the main feature. Then only they can become the global enterprises. Their operations and activities extend beyond the physical boundaries of their own countries. Their international image also builds up and their market territory expands, enabling them to become the international brand. They have to jump over their boundary. They have to extend their boundary, not only, I mean, beyond their country. Then only they can become the global enterprises. So if the country, if they establish the some countries, companies, they have their footmark all over the world. That is a reputation to the country as well as reputation to the company also. So it is the expansion of market territory or the extension, the continuation of marketplace or the market territory. That is the fourth feature of global enterprises. Now, what's the next concept is joint venture. I remind you students, so in this chapter we studied various things. So in the first three things, there is the types of public enterprises. So first one, department undertakings. Second one, statutory corporations. Third one, government company. Then we have studied the global enterprises. Now this is the different concept now. There's a joint ventures. So now I give one example. You might have used one app, Hike, Hike, Hike. It's a messenger. So we were using alternate to the WhatsApp. It's a Hike. Nowadays we can't see it. Hike. It was a joint venture of SoftBank Japan and Bharti Airtel, Airtel company. So Bharti Airtel and SoftBank Japan, they jointly formed or started Hike Messenger. That was a joint venture. Now you can understand the meaning of joint venture. That means when two businesses agree to join together for a common purpose and mutual benefit, then it gives rise to a joint venture. It means two or more companies or the businesses, they join together, then they start a new business with the mutual benefit or for the mutual benefit. It is called joint venture. Now, look at the one more meaning. A joint venture is a business arrangement in which two or more parties agree to pool, that means collect, their resources for purpose of accomplishing a specific task. It means two or more companies, then they bring their resources, they gather their resources, then they accomplish some specific task. That's a joint venture. This task can be new project or any other business activity. So it's all about joint venture. In simple terms, joint venture means what? Two or more companies. Two or more companies, they are joining together, then they start a new company. Or two or more companies joining together, then they accomplish a specific task or specific work, then it's also called joint venture. Now look at some examples, very interesting examples. Examples of joint venture: Boeing and Tata Advanced System. The Boeing of America and Tata of India, they have the joint venture. Then Kalyani Rafael Advanced System is a joint venture between Kalyani Strategic System Limited and Rafael Advanced Defense System Limited of Israel. It's a Kalyani Rafael Advanced System, the joint venture. Then one more is given here. Rafael Advanced Defense System and Astra Microwave Product Limited in Hyderabad is a joint venture to make software defined radios. Then, fourth example, Dassault Reliance Aerospace Limited. Joint venture between Dassault Aviation and Anil Dhirubhai Ambani's Reliance Group is a joint venture. One more is given here, Mahindra Aerospace Private Limited and Canada's Viking Air Limited. They have the joint venture. Both the companies, so they come to an agreement for the common purpose. They join their hands for the common purpose. It's called joint venture. Then look at the some other examples. ICICI Prudential Life Insurance Company Limited. It's a joint venture of ICICI Bank of India and UK based, England based Prudential Corporation Holding Limited. It is the ICICI Prudential Life Insurance Company Limited. Then ICICI Lombard is a joint venture between ICICI Bank and Fairfax Financial Holdings Limited of Canada. A joint venture. So you might have seen, you might have observed some advertisement. ICICI Lombard, ICICI Prudential Life Insurance. So both the companies are joint ventures. Then one more important example is here. So it's very interesting fact. It's all about our defense system. That is the BrahMos aerospace. So BrahMos is one of the what you call supersonic fastest missile in our army. So its speed of Mach 2.8 to Mach 3. Now, the name BrahMos is derived from the names of Brahmaputra River of India and Russia's capital Moscow is a BrahMos. Brahmaputra plus Moscow, that is what you call BrahMos. So now India's entry into supersonic missile club was led by BrahMos Aerospace, a joint venture between India's Defense Research and Development Organization, that's a DRDO, and Russia's NOP. So both Russia's NOP and IRDO, so they jointly prepared the supersonic missile that's called BrahMos Aerospace or the BrahMos missile. There's a joint venture. So BrahMos, it was the lethal weapon in our army. It was the missile, the BrahMos missile. It was the result of joint venture between India's DRDO and Russia's NOP. That's one interesting point for joint venture. Now, next concept, the types of joint venture. How many types of joint ventures are there? So now we have equity based and contractual based. On the base of equity base, we have two types, then three types. On the base of contractual, again we have one type. So there are basically we have two types of joint venture. First one equity based, second one contractual based. I repeat, the types of joint ventures, we have two types of joint venture. First one equity based, second one contractual based. Now first one, the contractual joint venture. What is contractual joint venture? In a contractual joint venture, a new jointly owned entity is not created. In this joint venture, new company is not created, not started. It is just an agreement to work together. The parties don't share ownership of the business but exercise some elements of control in the joint venture. Here, the both the company, so we need the two or more companies for joint venture. So in this contractor joint venture, the two or more companies, they come together not for starting a new company, not for creation of a new organization, but it's an agreement between among them or between them to work together or to finish a specific task. That's a contractor joint venture. I repeat here, when it comes to a contractor joint venture, two or more companies joining together just to finish a specific task, not to create the new company. It's a contractual joint venture. Now, what are the key elements of contractual joint venture? Here, first one, two or more parties have a common intention of running a business venture. They should have the common purpose or intention here. Then each party should bring some input. Here in the contracted joint venture, they won't establish a new company, but they come together for the specific task. For finishing that task, they have to bring some input or some what you call things or the raw materials. Then third element, both the parties exercise some control on the business venture. So they have some control over the that task. The last one, the relationship is not a transaction to transaction, but has a character of relatively longer duration. This is for the not for single transaction between the what do you call in the joint venture, but it's for the longer duration of the task. That's a contractual joint venture. Very easy thing. What's a contractual joint venture? There is a two or more companies, they are joining together, just finishing some task, not for creation of new company. That's called contractual joint venture. Okay, move on to next concept, the next type, equity based joint venture. It's just opposite to the first one, equity based joint venture. An equity joint venture agreement is one in which a separate business entity jointly owned by two or more parties is formed in accordance with the agreement of the parties. The key operative factors in such case is joint ownership by two or more parties. Here in the equity-based joint venture, two or more companies or parties, they are joining for set up a new organization or a new company. Then two or more parties or two or more companies, they are joining together for the formation of a new entity or a new business. That's called equity based joint venture. Now some key factors given here. There is an agreement to either create new entity or for one parties to join into ownership of existing entity. Here is the two options given here. One, in this type, two or more parties, they can create the new business or the new entity, or one party, they can join into the ownership of another party or another company. That's the first one. Second one, shared ownership by the parties involved. Here, there may be the parties may be two or three or four. Each parties, they have the ownership right. That's the second key factor. The third one, shared management of the jointly owned entity. Fourth one, shared responsibilities regarding capital investment and other financing arrangement. Then last one, shared profits and losses according to the agreement. It's a equity-based joint venture. I remind you, listen to me carefully. Under contractual joint venture, here new firm is not created. It's agreement to work together or agreement to finish a specific task or the given task. That's a contractual joint venture. But in equity-based joint venture, two or more parties join together for the creation of new entity. That means the creation of new company, or one party to join into another parties, I mean into ownership of existing entity. That's equity based. Now, what are the benefits of joint venture? Increase resources and capacity. When both the parties join together, automatically the resource increased. Again, their capacity also increased. That is the main benefit of joint venture. Joining hands with another to existing resources and capacity enabling the joint venture company to grow and expand more quickly and efficiently. One of the best way to extend our market, if anybody want to extend their market in other country, it is best to have the joint venture with the domestic company. That is the first benefit, increase resources and capacity. Second one, access to new market and distribution of network. When we come to an agreement with the other company, then we get the distribution network, so we can extend our new market, extend to our new market. Then we can access new technology. So if we have two parties in the joint venture, if one party, if they are technically sound, then they can access the technology from the other companies. It's a third benefit. Then establish brand name. When the two business entering into a joint venture, one of the parties benefits from the other's goodwill, which has already been established in the market. If you have joint venture with the famous company, then we can use their brand name for extend our product. I mean, extend our market. That's the another benefit of joint venture. Next concept is given here: public-private partnership. Public-private partnership. Very interesting chapter. It's a new chapter, new concept now. So it is a new things for India. Public-private partnership. Triple P. What is public-private ownership or the partnership? The public-private partnership involve collaboration between a government agency and the private sector. It's an agreement between the government company, I mean the government, and with the private sector company that can be used to finance, build, operate projects such as public transportation network, park, and convention center. In simple meaning, in simple word, what's the triple P? It means it's the agreement or the collaboration between government and the private. So it agreement or the collaboration can be used for financing, then building, operate project, for example, transportation worker, network, park, and convention center. It's a what you call triple P. Even government of India, they are planning to have the public-private partnership, even in the railway also. So they are in the edge in implement. It is the public-private partnership. Some examples are given here. Second Vivekananda Bridge, now it is called Sister Nivedita Bridge in Kolkata. It's a public-private ownership project. Then Mumbai Metro, it is a public-private partnership of Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. It's the public department, and Reliance Energy Limited. It is what you call the private. Here in the Mumbai Metro, the two parties here. One is public, it's the government. The other one is the private. So in the Mumbai Metro, two parties are Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. It's a public party. Then Reliance Energy Limited is the private party. Third example, underground car parking system, city Kolkata, West Bengal. Is the Kolkata Municipal Corporation is a public agency. Then KMC and Simplex is a private agency. So underground car parking system, city. It's in Kolkata, West Bengal. It's a project of Triple P. Then Kempegowda International Airport of Bangalore. It's also a project of public-private partnership. Now, what are the features of public-private partnership? It's a contract with the private agency to build public facility. That is the first feature. Second one is financed and owned by the public sector, not only by the public sector, by the both the parties. Then third one, key driver is the transfer of design and construction work. This is the three features of public-private partnership. Then what about the suitability or application? It is suitable to capital project with a small operating requirement, suited to capital project where public sector wishes to retain the operating responsibility. It's applicable in what do you call, two types of project. There was strength of triple P, transfer of design and construction risk, potential to accelerate project. It's a two strength. When it comes to weakness, conflict between parties may arise on environmental consideration, then does not attract private finance easily. This is the weakness of triple P. Very simple concept. Private public partnership, both the private agency and public agency. I mean the public agency and private company. So they are joining together for the project. That is the public private ownership or the partnership. Okay, here I finished the third chapter of business studies. In next class, we'll discuss the fourth chapter. It is the business services. Go through it, study well. We have finished three chapters. So, thank you for watching. See you in next class. Thank you.